Thank you very much for having me. My name is Sentheepan Senthivel. I'm from Greens Market on Maple and Broadway. I support this motion, but I urge Council to change it from explore to develop. I love my city, I love my province, I love my country. I never thought I'd ever be in a fight against us. But I have a reason to fight, and my reasons are not just for me, but for also all the businesses that suffered during the Canby construction, the Evergreen construction, the Broadway construction now, and all the future businesses that are going to be suffering due to the infrastructure project. There's no mitigation for access being taken away. You can't, no matter what you do, you're not going to replace access. And that's what's happening to us. We're getting cut off access from all different angles. Pedestrians, buses, cars, it's pretty brutal. We're not seeing many of them anymore. We can handle the noise, we can handle the nuisance, we can handle the inconveniences, but not the financial hardship. That's a lot to bear on a small business person. My loss of sales are quite tremendous. I'm losing about 250 customers a day. That's about 1,400 customers a week. This amounts to roughly close to date. It's been about $800,000 in revenue losses and close to $300,000 in gross profit. This is not an easy number for somebody that is self-funded to recover from. It's quite difficult and quite challenging. Imagine any of you or all of you had to take a 25% to 50% reduction on the income that comes through you. Is that something that's easy for you to manage in a split second and try to make your life go as normal after taking severe losses like that? I can't imagine anybody that can handle that kind of loss. But yet the province and the city are telling us, go ahead. No, it'll be fine. It's okay. You'll be fine. Don't worry about your 40%, 50% losses. It'll be okay in a couple of years. But that's not the case. In a couple of years, what's going to happen is my landlord's already told me our rents are going to go up. Our property taxes are going to go up. Or they're already going up. Based on what my conversation with BC assessment is, once the SkyTrain was set, all the values in our area went up. So it doesn't matter that there's a huge hole in front of our businesses. It doesn't matter that the neighborhood is not the same. The property taxes are going to go up. So we're going to pay more property taxes while there's a huge hole dug in front of our store, which I think is very unfair. I have over 1,900 online supporters that believe that the city and the province should be supporting businesses during construction like this. My in-store petition, I have over 600 people that have signed. All your constituents, all people in the neighborhood have signed and said, hey, I think the city and the province should be supporting businesses. And in most cases, from what I've learned, is a lot of people thought that the city and the province were already supporting businesses. They're quite surprised that you're not. And that's why we're getting so many signatures. On a daily basis, I get about 60 signatures in my in-store petition. The city, from all my conversations with the city and the province, there's a big fear of setting precedent. The precedent of, oh, if we provide any funding for you while we're doing construction, we're going to have to do it for everybody. But I think the real precedent that should be focused on being made is the city and the province support small businesses and will do anything to make sure they're not impacted by anything that they do. That should be the real precedent that both the city and the province should be looking at, not the fear of, oh my God, everything's going to go up in cost every time we do a construction project. On top of that, I also don't think that when the city staff and the province staff talk about if we compensate, it's going to increase the budgets tremendously. It might, but I think in a case like this, you're not providing funding for 5.7 kilometer corridor, every single business in that corridor. You're only providing support for the cut and cover areas and specific businesses. From the Montreal study, it showed that businesses like hair salons, doctors, dentists, and service-based businesses, they don't get affected as much because they rely on a few people that come in with appointments. A business like myself, a business like Maze, a dollar store, Blends, Odin Books, they all, and Vivek at Akbar, we all rely on people coming through our store, having access. When we decided to pick our locations, we picked it because of the accessibility. When I used to, before the SkyTrain started, I had people pull over, see my store, pull over, stop in and shop. It was a great great way to build our brand and get us known everywhere in the community. Broadway was had so much exposure. It was lovely. Every year we were growing. Before this construction started, I was growing 50. Yeah.
Councillor Hardwick.
Thanks. I have two questions. The first is, have you looked at other jurisdictions and solutions in other Canadian cities?
Well, the main one I found was in Montreal, and I found a couple of Edmonton also tried to implement something similar, and there's been in Calgary there've been situations where the city has given residents or tax breaks. So that's why I thought that would be something to petition for.
So the motion says to direct staff to explore options. So among those explorations would be what is happening in other cities.
Yes.
You talked about compensation. Are you talking about compensation or forgiveness? I distinguish between the two, the latter being related to property taxes or business licenses and things levers that the city actually has some control over. Have you explored the different alternatives there?
I did explore them, but I didn't find anything specific for property tax, except for the revitalization rule program that we have here. But I couldn't figure out how our situation could be categorized as revitalization.
So do you own the building that you're in?
Unfortunately, no.
No, so the owner of the building is paying the property taxes, but then passing them along to you. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. I pay about $5,000 a month in property tax.
Well, that's $60,000 a year in property tax. Would that even, make a dent in your business?
Definitely. It'll definitely help.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.